Hi everyone. Alright, today I am working with some pastel colors. I've never tried this particular combination before, but I want to test it out and see how they look together. I'm gonna do a painting for my soon-to-be new granddaughter's room when she is born in June, so she'll have something from her Mimi hanging in her room. And so I'm already starting to just play around with things and try and get an idea of what I want to do. So I'm just trying this. Sorry, I forgot to tell you all what they were before I picked them all up. Alright, so these are all Ranger inks. Cool Perry, Aqua, Pink Sherbet, and Coral. No, Salmon. Sorry, Coral's a lot brighter. That's the Salmon. Alright. This is 99% isopropyl alcohol in the bottle, and this is undiluted Pinata Brass. I do not put alcohol or anything in with it in the bottle. I just pour it in there. I'm going to use my Revlon styling brush hair dryer that has the brush attachment removed. I'll be using it almost entirely on the cool setting because that is what I use. I like the fact that the cool setting gives me a little bit longer to work with the inks. It doesn't dry them quite so quickly, and I also don't have to worry about warping whatever surface it is that I'm working on, even if it's one that doesn't warp easily. So alright, now, so this is one of these little things that I've got so many ideas in my head for things that I want to do that I'm having a really difficult time settling on something. So, I'm just going to kind of jump in and see where this takes us. I've got an idea or two that I figured I would try, so I don't know. We don't know what's going to happen here. And these are very pastel colors, very light. So you got to kind of be careful with getting enough on there for it to actually show up. And I think what I'm going to do is kind of make flowers here, just sort of all over the place. So let's play with that and see what happens. If I don't like it, well, that's the reason I'm doing it this way. So I can decide what it is I want to do exactly. Oops. The flower may have a whole lot of brass in it. That was 2 or 3 drips there. I may end up having to do something else right now. I'm just noticing how little color is in this. I didn't really get enough ink down. Now you can see I'm not trying to do roses. I'm just trying to pull out a few sort of petals just to make it look a little bit like a flower, not like a rose. Sorry, there's so little ink left in there that I'm really struggling to pull any of it out to make the petal with. Alright, so this is kind of a mess in here right now. But once I get done, I will go back and put just some very simple centers in them. Maybe, you know, 3 or 4 little dots of either brass or some other color, or, you know, a little bit of brass and another color. So, but we'll deal with that part when we get to it. Because I kind of want the flowers to overlap, so I don't want to, if I get a petal over in there, I don't want to go ahead and do the center now, because I don't want it to mess up whatever center I put in there. That's the pink sherbet color, which I just think is really pretty. That for some reason is just a color that I really like. Having trouble here moving things around. You can see I almost let my brass sit there too long, and it kind of settled. It's good for it to set for a minute, but you don't want to, well, not a minute, but you know, just briefly. But you don't want it to sit too long, because it does kind of sink to the bottom to me. Or maybe I'm the only one that has that issue. Me, it kind of sinks. Now you'll notice I am putting a little bit of brass in here, but I'm using 1 dot. And then that way I have some brass. Some petals have more, some have less. But I still get that little bit of shimmer. Going on from the brass there. It's a whole lot easier to do with darker colors, I can tell you that. I've done this before. It's been quite a while, but I used much darker colors, not so pastel. Yeah, that looks bad. Let's get rid of that. Let's put that there. I had to pull that petal out a little bit far just so I could get the spot of ink I dripped on the paper. think I love this pink sherbet color, but for what? If this is going to be one for our new granddaughter's room at her house, it's not going to match. There's no purple, and that's coming out, you know, fairly purple, so. But I'm going to keep on working with this color anyway, even though it probably won't match in her room, because I obviously need to practice on these flowers a little more. It's been so long since I've done any. Her room, it's going to have very summery colors, nice June colors, because it's going to be coral and sort of aqua and mint green and yellow and just lots of pretty colors like that. Keep on doing it this way from now on, I think. Make that a little simpler for me. Alright, I'm switching that over to some low heat. I'm going to put it on high for just a second. Blow that in. Put it over on heat because I could see a few little moisture beads forming in there. Wanted to get rid of. And I didn't want to work this little circle too much because I would lose my brass. It will eventually just blend in if you do it too awfully much. And if you want to practice on your control, doing these petals like this is a really good way to get a lot of practice, because you do have to have some control to get them to go back in where you want them. But the good thing about it is it doesn't really matter if your middle doesn't come out perfect. If you take something and go back over it, add a flower center in there with a brush or whatever you want to use. I would not recommend just dropping ink in, because you will end up pushing out. You'll end up pushing this way out. I mean, you can try that, but it needs to be a very tiny drop of ink. Otherwise, you're going to end up with having a huge circle in the middle of it that you may not want quite that big. This may get really boring for you all since I'm pretty much just doing the same thing over and over. So fast forward it. You get tired of watching what I'm doing, you can fast forward it. I'm not really sure, you know, how much tips I can give you with this. My table is not level good, as you can see. Then I'm hitting this circle with just a little bit of heat. Just to get it dried up a little more quickly so that it doesn't, you know, mix in too much of my brass. When you're working with several colors like that, wrong one, remember to keep your lids on your bottles if you don't want to have to try and figure out which lid goes on which bottle after that, which I have done on multiple occasions. If you all can hear me, I hope you can. Welcome to all of you new people. I've been getting a lot of new subscribers lately. And welcome back to all of the old crowd who has become like family to me. To those of you who are new, I just like to talk to you all just like we're friends hanging out and having a cup of coffee or something and discussing our art. So I may talk a little more than you like to hear, and that's okay. That's just who I am. You can mute it if you don't want to hear it. Although I'll warn you, if you mute it, you will probably miss some tips because random things pop into my head at times that I'm like, oh yeah, I've been meaning to tell you all, you need to be sure to do this. So, it is entirely your choice. Well, you'll notice I kind of put the ink down in a line right there. That's just to help steer it out there where I want it to go. And I'm not trying to get no edge out here. So that, you know, I want a fairly soft edge, but I'm not trying to completely do away with it. Let me show you all. Well, you might be able to see better than I can realize, but because I can't see good. But you can see I'm not trying to give a total wispy edge. I want it soft, and you know, in some places I've gotten it softer than others, but I want it soft, but I don't want it, you know, completely gone, because I do want you to see that it's a flower, not just a, you know, I don't know what, I guess it would still look like a flower, but that's just the way that I decided to do it. really got to get this table leveled up. It's kind of a problem when you're putting down large amounts of stuff at one time, because that's way more ink than I would normally put down. Way more. Excuse me. I forgot to bring a glass of water in with me. I usually do. That I was in a hurry so I could come down and paint before it was time to fix supper. So I have to share this. This comment it made me laugh. And I absolutely loved it. I loved this comment. This little metaphor for what watching me paint is like. And it's really like that with this. It was said that it was like watching a sheepdog herd sheep. Watching me chase that paint around and keep it corralled, where I wanted it to be. So, I absolutely loved that comment. That was just so cute. And it was so apt. It was so descriptive that really is kind of what it's like. I am herding the ink. I am the ink herder. Now, there's different ways that you can do this, and this is not really what I'm trying to do, but I'll show you this because you can see a little bit of it here. If you do your petals right, you can actually make them overlap, almost exactly all the way around, rather than, but these I wanted looser, more abstract, so I wasn't really trying to do that, but you can see how it's kind of looking that way on this one right now. I didn't want to, I don't know, it was just my thought for this one. I didn't want such tightly controlled flowers, just wanted them a little softer. I get some of the greatest comments from you all sometimes. They are just, really make me feel good. And some of them really make me laugh because you guys can be so funny. And I love it. I love reading the ones where you all are just funny and lighthearted. Because this should be fun. You should be having a really good time with this. It can get long. This one is getting long. I'm sure it will be very long before I get done, because it does take longer to do so many smaller areas than in a lot of the paintings that I do. This one's getting a little thick in the middle. I've gotten a few too many petals in it. And so this is what happens when, oh good grief, when your brass starts mixing and blending into it. That is exactly what happens. You're going to notice your ink getting really thick. And it's not going to want to move good. In fact, I'm just going to quit struggling with that and wipe it out. I'm out of paper towels in my art room, and I keep forgetting to bring them down until I need some. So I am going to wipe that out because I could probably fix it, but it's not worth the aggravation. So I'm just not going to. I'm gonna wipe it out and then fix it. And there's times that the more you mess with it, the worse it gets. And the harder it is to fix, too. I've got something weird going on with this flower anyway. I'm not real happy with it. I am seriously not sure what's up with this flower. It is bad. Bad. So, when you really don't like it, and once again, yeah, I mean, I probably could have kept fooling with it and made it look decent, but it wasn't going to blend in good with these other ones, just because it was going to be overworked. I'm hoping I don't get weird colors on here because I have way overused this paper towel. I may end up with some dark purple or bright orange or something in this. Now this is the Grafix opaque white craft plastic, so it does not stain. So if I want to, I can actually get every single bit of that off. But I don't care if some of it's still on there, just because I am going to, still be working that one exact spot. I just want to make sure that it's not sticking out beyond where my petals are going to be. Now see, I'm pretty much going to have to come back down here with a petal, but I wanted to anyway, so that's no biggie there. But some of this on the side where it got spread out a little too much, I just want to try my best to get most of that off. Alright, let's try this again. Let's see if I can drag this video out even longer. Yay! I know you all are like, oh God, no, please. Please, no longer. So I put a little less ink in it this time, which I'm hoping won't be, too much less. Saw my paper buckle. I thought I'd hit it with the hot by accident. Not sure what was going on. I can already tell, for some reason, this flower and I are going to have issues. like for whatever reason the paper is buckled there, and it maybe I got it too hot when I was cooling or you know drying up some of this stuff. It's got the ink doesn't want to move the way I want it to because my paper's buckled a little bit, and that is some of the issue with using heat, because if your paper buckles at all, it makes it much more difficult to move the ink where you want it to go and control it. I know some of you will be wondering why I didn't just edit out the part that I messed up. You know, so you all didn't have to watch me mess up and then erase it and then do it over again. But that's because, I mean, you're gonna mess up, period. And or you're gonna have things you're not happy with. And so, you know, it's always good to be reminded that you can fix it. It's not the end of the world. Alcoholing is a very forgiving medium, simply because you can just reactivate it, you know, and get it fixed better. Get it looking more the way you want it to look. So I am once again, I'm not gonna erase it again, don't worry. But see, I've lost almost all my brass in that because it's already been overworked a little bit again. But that's alright, I'll deal with it. But anyway, and plus it's just good to remember that it doesn't matter who you're watching, what artist you're watching, what they're doing, they are going to mess up. Period. They're going to have things that they are not happy with. You may not see it. You know, they may not put those videos on their YouTube channel. Some of them do. Some of them don't mind showing you their mess ups because they understand everybody messes up, and it's good for you all to be reminded that, you know, it happens, and not to feel bad about it if you're new and messing up, or even if you've been doing it a while and you still don't like your results. I mean, as you can see, even I get results that I don't like. It just you know, you're never going to be 100% satisfied, I think, with anything that you do. And that's okay. You know, like Bob Ross said, all those happy little accidents, you just turn it into something else and move on. Sorry, I'm trying to decide, like, if I want this to just sort of curve down through here or how I want this to be. Because that seems like an awful lot of negative space over here where there's not anything. Because I like the idea of it curving, but I don't want to fill it all the way up to here, and I don't want to leave a ton that's just empty down here. Sorry. I know this drives people crazy. That's why there's a fast forward button. just splattered alcohol on the paper. I lifted my finger off too soon, and for some unknown reason I was shaking my alcohol bottle. You do not need to do that. I have no earthly idea why I did that. Could almost make that one into an orchid. With a little salmon. Yeah, let's do a little salmon right here. You can see I've got a couple of little spots there of the brass that splattered a little bit that I can, if I need to, I can just take off with a cotton swab. Right there, they should get sort of absorbed into the flowers and be fine, but let's see. I about got too much alcohol down right there. Let's see, you'll see there, the alcohol kind of got away from me for a second. I made that petal a little bigger than I had originally intended, but it's fine. It looks just fine, you know, and I'll leave it there because it actually looks okay. So don't worry about it if it's doesn't do exactly what you want. Just go with those happy little accidents and leave them the way they are a lot of times. I'm feeling like I need something right here. I may end up having to put something in there, but I didn't want it to just be straight across, you know. Well, let's hope I have a little better luck this time with the cool Perry than I did with that last flower. Oh no, it wasn't the cool Perry, it was the aqua. Gave me such a hard time. I don't know if I'm the only one who has noticed this or not, but I swear I feel like Ranger may have changed their formula for the Cool Perry, because it's not exactly the color that it used to be. It is a little more blue now than what it used to be. I don't know, to me it used to have more of a lavender shade. But, maybe I'm imagining things. But I've noticed even working with it on UFO, it doesn't look the same, doesn't separate out the same way that it used to. That petal out farther than I wanted it. I think I jinxed myself a few minutes ago when I said something about hoping this petal worked out better, even though I was thinking of the wrong color. Okie dokie. Let's go with it over here. I started to put it right in there, but I'm going to set it off to the side a little bit. We'll see how this works out anyway. And I always wipe it out if I don't like it. Now with this, because I have gotten so close to the edge, this one can't be matted. Well, it could be, but you're gonna lose part of your flowers. And it may not look too good if you mat it. So this one will probably end up resined. It'll get mounted on some cradle board anyway. 12 by 12 cradle board, and I'll probably resin it. Trying to do a little of it facing that way so you all could see better, but the problem is I can't see. I can't tell where it's going. And now another thing, which would probably drive any of you all that have OCD about stuff and that drive you crazy, I'm not trying to get the same number of petals on each flower. You'll notice some of them have 5, some of them have 6. You know, it just kind of, whatever works out is what I'm doing. I'm not trying for anything specific. Yeah, I'm not loving the way this one's laying out. All right. Oh, you gotta be careful of that. I tipped my bottle a little too quickly. That's what causes that if you see that happen on yours. have got to take a short break for just a minute. I got to go up and see if it's time to fix supper yet. So, for you all, it will only be a second, but I will be back very shortly. Okay, I'm back. Good news for me is my darling hubby is cooking supper, so maybe I can get this finished. This is taking so long that I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a part 2 to this, and I will do the embellishment in another video, just so that this one does not continue to grow longer and longer and longer, because this is already going to be a long video. So after I post this one, I will just post, you know, within the next few days after that, I will post the part 2 showing the embellishment. One good thing about like where I had to step away for a few minutes, when I came back and looked at this, I knew almost instantly kind of what direction I wanted to go. Whereas when I was looking at it before, you know, my mind was just a big mess, and I was like, okay, no matter what I do, it's going to look awful as far as composition. Sometimes just stepping away is all you need, and then you see exactly what you want to do when you come back. Still not going to be, you know, the shape that I wanted originally, but, you know, that's alright. They rarely are. I don't care what kind of painting I'm trying to do. It's very rare that they turn out looking exactly like I had it pictured in my mind when I started. So. Now see here, I've got a little too much, so I'm gonna just take that right out and redo this petal because it was building up a little too much in the middle there for my taste. So now I'm going to end up with this gigantic petal that I didn't want. See, there is such a thing as over-fixing. Sometimes it's better to leave it be. Other times it's better to fix it. That pedal's a little interesting. So yeah, I may be over fixing here, but that's bugging me. I'd say I could just keep right on fixing and fixing and fixing, because I messed that up right there. Yeah, I'm going to do that again. And I'm probably gonna do this again as well, just because it's kind of gotten swallowed up over here. Well, I've almost reached the point of saying, as much as I like to let people see my mistakes and how I fix them, you all may never see this one. Huh. We'll see. Alright. Trying to decide if I want. I knew exactly what I wanted to do a minute ago, and then I forgot. But if I want the cool Perry or the sherbet, pink sherbet, which, on a personal note, I think is disgusting. That's just me. Do not like raspberry flavored anything. Unless it's blue raspberry. Blue raspberry ices, yes, I have a major weakness for that. Alright, let's just do it. Just do it. I've got something on my shoes. Get out of there. I don't know what that was. But now my ink spread out farther than I wanted. having another struggle. I don't know what it is tonight. Why I'm having such a hard time. I think part of my problem is I'm trying to hurry because I do realize how long this video has turned out to be. And I feel like, you know, that's one thing when I feel like you all are learning some stuff, that this one, I don't know that you're actually learning anything out of this one. We'd call this a what not to do video, maybe. Okay, I am going to leave this like this, I think, because I didn't want to I didn't want to pack it full. This is not what I intended to do at all when I first started, but it's okay. I wanted to leave some space anyway. I am going to embellish this, and I will do a part 2 video, but I think that I need to step away from this for a while. So, and also just for time expediency, I guess, on this video, keep it from getting any longer, I am going to finish this painting in a part 2 video. I will come back and I'm going to put some centers in the flowers and maybe do a little embellishing here and there with some brass or something. So, all right, well, this is where we're stopping on this one. I don't know how well you all can see it. And I will be back in just a couple of days probably with a part 2 where I'm embellishing this and trying to get it to looking just a little bit better. All right, well, I hope you all have a great day or evening or whatever it is where you all are at in the world. And I will see you again very shortly. Bye.